Have you ever wondered how much money this channel makes? If you have, you're definitely going to want to check out my next video. But this video, however, is about update 1.35 for the console edition of Rust. This is the patch that promises to fix all the bugs that were introduced with the last patch. So let's get into it. But before we get into it, if you guess my channel made less than $20,000 over its lifetime, you're really going to be blown away by my video tomorrow. So getting into the patch notes for update 1.53, it starts off like this. Hello survivors, here's another update to tackle some of the issues in game. More will come. For now, take a look at our list of fixes for update 1.53. Gameplay. Rockets fired by Bradley APC and the attack helicopter now move at the correct speed. Reduce the distance that it takes for scientists to stop being aggressive towards players. Scientists will no longer continue shooting at killed players who respawn nearby and out of sight. Scientists will no longer target players out of their range. Removed collision from debris of destroyed barrels. Throwing items at shallow angles will no longer disappear. So items that are thrown actually do seem to still disappear in the staging branch. That's at least what I've heard from a few people, but it seems like it's not as bad as it used to be. So just a small note on that. But otherwise, it seems like all this stuff has been somewhat fixed. You'll see there's still some issues. Items. Timed explosives no longer disappear when thrown at objects. And apparently this relates to both C4 and satchel charges. I wasn't sure if satchel charges counted as timed explosives, but I think they do. So that's good. Reduce the flashing effect when firing a weapon with the hollow sight attachment at night. Swapping one item of clothing with another when the inventory is full will no longer cause the original item to be lost. Fixed an issue that could cause incendiary ammo to continue to damage killed players after they respawn. And if you watched my last video, you know I'm celebrating that one. Because I don't know how to say that word. Partial fix for sheet metal building blocks appearing completely white from a distance. They now appear black, so the police are more likely to shoot them. Frog boots are back in the clothing section of the crafting menu. But frog boots also make your footsteps silent, which is a little bit of a glitch that a lot of people are going to be exploiting. Players can no longer clip through floors or ceilings by using a wooden ladder. Multiple wooden ladders can no longer be deployed on top of each other. Partial fix for black shadows on ceilings when campfire is lit. Driving a boat no longer triggers auto-equip for the active hotbar slot when auto-equip is turned on in the options menu. Monuments. Fixed players being able to clip through vents at various monuments. Fixed forced crouch at cargo ship dome and water treatment plant. And this is a big one because honestly some of those monuments were unplayable because of this bug. So the fact that it's fixed is amazing. Also, this next one's a big one too. Fixed an issue causing players to clip through ceilings on the cargo ship. Players are no longer blocked from traveling through the vents at launch site. Players can now only sleep for up to 30 minutes inside a safe zone, then they are automatically killed. The small oil refinery at Outpost can be used to make low-grade fuel again, and apparently this fix does apply to some of the other monuments. At least I've confirmed that there's one other monument that has it working, so hopefully that means the rest are working too. Fixed texture issues at the airfield. Now moving on to the UI. Fixed an issue with the death screen map soft locking the game. They made that sound very casual for the fact that it literally just ruins the game. It means that you have to close the game and reopen it, which is basically death for a game because when people do that, a lot of people aren't coming back. Fixed an issue with the in-game map preventing the UI from being interactable. I think this also is related to that bug that causes players to have to leave the game and then come back. And again, this is a horrific issue, so they're really underplaying it here. But it's huge that they fixed it. That's good, having to deal with that for 2 weeks. I honestly stopped playing Rust for a bit. The demolish option is now grayed out on the Hammer's building/upgrade menu after 10 minutes instead of being hidden. This ensures the menu options are always in the same position. The death screen no longer shows the wrong information when you are killed by a scientist or bandit. Fixed an issue that soft locked the tech tree. The map icon for locked crate now disappears when the crate has been looted or when it despawns. Fixed various text localization issues. And here, this I actually liked. With this update, they provided a list of changes that they're still looking into. So this is what they said. There's a complete list of changes this is the complete list of changes for update 1.53. More will come in the near future to fix more of the bugs. Take a look at our list of known major issues. So if you're wondering what's going on with an issue that you didn't hear about, this is probably it. Known major issues, we are working on them. And that we are working on them is in parentheses. So in-game exploits, there's always going to be exploits in a game, but they obviously didn't go into which ones they're trying to fix because players then would know they exist and are more likely to figure out what's going on. We're not going to talk about those. Scientist aggro range, scientists shooting at outposts, scientists not losing their target after the player dies. I really thought they said they fixed that one, but the fact that it's in known major issues that they're working on makes me think there might be something off there. Silent footsteps while using frog boots. And again, I did say that earlier. The only reason I announced it is because I know they're announcing it here. Otherwise, I'd keep the sort of... I keep it down on that one because it is a bit of an exploit. A lot of players wouldn't know about it. But now everybody knows about it, so I might as well inform people. Player becomes hostile after being attacked by another player in the outpost. That actually, I'm surprised they reported that because that is going to be exploited, I'm sure. Under the map, prevention issues, double sound issues, sound crash when on boats or big gunfights. Some issues that you perceive as major may not be presented in this list, even with the team being aware of them. Worry not, we will get them and fix them. The bullet points above are our priority list. And then below they have a little thing that says, have you joined our Discord server? That's a great place to share information and all of that. And that's the update. That's the patch notes. Honestly, I think overall, like, for 2 weeks, it's a solid amount of things that they fixed. I'm glad that they're fixing some of these bugs that literally did make the game unplayable. I quit the game. Like, I started the Rust console village. I played for a couple, like, a week and a half. And then just recently, it just was like, I couldn't deal with it. I had to leave. Too many times I was like in the middle of something, I'd die, or just something would happen, I'd bug out and I couldn't go anywhere. And it was just like, the whole game was broken, and it really sucks. So I'm really glad that they got to fixing these. I would have liked to see these issues being fixed sort of as they could fix it, or at least have like one patch last week that fixed what they could and one patch this week that fixed what they could. But maybe they didn't want to update Staging Branch too much. I think they did have to do a wipe of Staging Branch, so maybe that was part of it. I'm not sure what goes into those decisions, but I've got to assume that they have some idea of what they're doing, hopefully. The fact that they've broken a lot of stuff with every single patch that they've put out, it makes me curious if that's the case, but I've got to give them the benefit of the doubt. And honestly, it seems like they fixed a lot of the major issues. And from talking to people who are playing on the Staging Branch, they also agreed the same thing. They say that this update is night and day better than the last update. So hopefully that comes through. Hopefully we all get an amazing experience. And when the Halloween event comes around, we're all going to get to enjoy it without any annoying bugs. I'm going to try and make a guide for that Halloween event depending on when it drops. I'll hopefully have it ready because it is a really amazing Rust console event that I recommend everybody takes part in if they didn't get a chance to take part in it on the Staging Branch. Also, for those of you who were wondering about the computer that I'm building, it's mostly fixed. It's mostly working right now. I'm recording this video on that computer. It looks stunning. There was, however, one issue, and that issue was actually with the AIO. So that would be the CPU water cooling that I had, and it is not quite working right now. I think it's because the thermal paste wore off on it. When I attached it, I had to reattach it, and I think some thermal paste came off, and basically the CPU is hitting temperatures of 90 Celsius, which for those of you who are chefs, you know that that's the temperature you cook food at, not the temperature you want your computer to be running at. So yeah, I had to pull that thing off. I put in the stock Intel CPU cooler. It's really struggling here. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but we did get the PC working. It's running. This video is being made on it. I love what it can do so far, and I can't wait to get this AIO installed and show it all to you. I'm not going to spoil exactly what type of AIO it is, but I think that we're actually going to have a really, really cool build here, and hopefully it's going to help my channel. We'll see. We'll see. I've got some really cool ideas for it. I don't want to ruin it. But yeah, also make sure you tune in for tomorrow's video. It's my attempt at making a video that gets some sort of traction with the YouTube algorithm. I'm going over how much my channel's made over 10 years and what that might mean for people who are interested in going into YouTube, because hopefully I'm a more sort of reasonable case study than looking at someone like Graham Stephan, who's made $5 million off of YouTube, or one of these like Paul Brothers or Mr. Beast, or any of these guys who basically are like multi-millionaires many times over because of YouTube. I'm not that, but I'm more of an average case study into what an average or maybe even above average channel would do. Anyways, thank you for staying for that end part. I'm going to try and do this a little bit more because people seem to like interacting with it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.